saw the first of two loops in the 2024 Africa Eco Race. This one made up the 7th stage out from and back to Chami. Not the first time it's been done, but there have been some changes from previous years, especially in the erg crossings. On the menu today, sand, sand and yet more sand with some tricky navigation. 453 kilometres of timed stage from Chami to Chami. On two wheels and in the Motul Extreme Rider category, those who look after their bikes on their own are currently being led by Nicolas Bottu of France. He took his 4th category stage win despite running out of petrol thanks to fellow riders who came to his aid, and was 14th today. A word about the Rookie Rider by Acerbis, a category in which you have to be under 35 and have never taken part in a rally lasting more than 8 days. The fastest rider on Tuesday was Italy's Francesco Muratori. He crossed the line in 5th place. Aboard his Harley-Davidson, Juan Garcia Pedrero had a day of troubles. He had trouble with his fuel pump at CP1, leaving him without enough power to get over the dunes. He decided to pick up as many waypoints as possible and crossed the line to validate his time. However, he lost a lot of time to penalties and is now down to 30th place overall. Amongst the leaders, the man who lost out the most today was Paul Tarez. He is now 13 minutes behind Cerruti and 12 from Boturi. The Andorran had trouble with his exhaust pipe, which he then lost. The 5th place rider from 2022 was not happy at the finish line. He loses his 2nd place in the GC and is now very far from the lead. It looks like it's all to play for between Cerruti and Boturi. Cerruti had a fast day on his Aprilia, but had a few nav errors near the end of the stage. The Italian even had a fall, thankfully not serious. He finished 2nd today. He stays leader, but only 1 minute ahead of his compatriot Boturi. It is far from over. Boturi, 2-time winner from 2019 and 20, knows he has to stay on his toes. Case in point today, he left 3rd and rode hard to overtake Cerruti and Tarez despite a few small nav errors. I tried to attack all day. First of all, I passed Jacopo and then I caught Paul. I rode really fast to build up my advantage. It's a shame that at 60 or 70 kilometers from the finish, I made a couple of nav errors. I could see where I should be and eventually I found the route. It's a shame for Paul, he had some troubles. In today's rankings, which could still change after a lot of riders missed waypoints, Boturi takes the win with 2 minutes over Cerruti and 12:52 from Tarez. There are currently 8 Italians in the top 10. Overall, it's an exciting leaderboard with Cerruti only 1 minute ahead of Boturi and 13 minutes from Tarez. The Swiss rider Alexandre Vaudin, 5th, is the first rookie rider by Acerbis. First man Motul, Montanari, is 6th. On to the cars, and let's start with the Africa Eco Race Classic, the race within the race for the cars of the African rallies of old. And once more, it's the Austrian Peter Brabeck-Letmat at the sharp end of today's racing. In the Classic GC, the Belgian Eric Claes remains the leader with a healthy lead over 2nd place René de Klerk. Back to the other race, and Thomas Tomacek got his Tatra into the top 10. The Czech is enjoying himself more and more as the rally goes deeper into the dunes. 8th this Tuesday, he is now on the podium in the GC. A about 5 hours behind the leader Gauthier Paulin, who had a puncture and got lost today. As an elite athlete, the Apache driver is finding it frustrating not to be the best every day. Another hiccup as he had a level 3 red alert a few kilometres from the finish line. He had to stop and reboot. He finished 7th. A tremendous day out for the Portuguese driver Ricardo Sousa. Thanks to his second place today, he's moved into the top 10 in the GC. A former South racing official and seasoned driver, he finished the 453 kilometres in 5 hours, 11 minutes and 16 seconds. Sitting low down in the GC, overall victory will be difficult for Pierre-Louis Loubet to achieve, but his plan is to grasp as many stage victories as possible before Dakar. The WRC driver won his 4th stage today and 2nd in a row on a very fast and challenging day opening the route. The nav was difficult, but the Frenchman has an excellent navigator beside him. It wasn't easy, but it's always like that. There are directions, there are tracks. You have to follow in the spirit of the rally, where you have headings to follow, lots of little indications, and the tracks are not marked. They're not always well marked because there is wind and not everyone goes the same way. So you have to choose. You have to stay in the spirit of the rally and enter with one heading and expect the track to split, with no modifications for the heading. As soon as you're on the track and you're sure it's the right one, you have to carry on. In the car rankings, 4th stage victory for Pierre-Louis Loubet ahead of Ricardo Sousa and Pascal Ferrain. Imre Varga is 4th, Stam 5th and Tomacek is 8th. In the GC, Gauthier Paulin keeps his lead. Pascal Ferrain gains 2 places to take 2nd, and Thomas Tomacek is in the top 3 for the first time this edition. That's it for today. Tomorrow, the 3rd day in Mauritania, it's full steam ahead eastwards as the 8th stage goes to Amadjar in the heart of the country. But as always, we'll leave you with some of the best images of the day. Bye-bye.